Are you ready?
You're listening to DJ Oz Ozzy.
Would you believe me when I tell you, you are the queen of my heart? Please don't deceive me when I hurt you, just ain't the way it seems. Can you feel my love, buzz? 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 Would you believe me when I tell you, you are the queen of my heart? Please don't deceive me when I hurt you, just ain't the way it seems. Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love, buzz? Can you feel my love, buzz?
Satanism. To most, it conjures images of medieval black masses or sinister deeds done for the devil. must expose all the evil being done in the name of Satan.
Aha! I managed to get it to turn side. Wow, my background is shit no matter what I do. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. I don't remember. Yeah, thank you, thank you. No, they're saying they can hear Ember.
Well, hooray! It's my superpowers.
Audio cancellation.
Something like that. I don't know.
Oh, so they can hear me too, apparently.
My microphone's been there. Yeah, they should be able to hear me now. Sorry, guys.
Suddenly it's a Verizon commercial.
All right. Hey, welcome to the show. We are doing another installment of CreationWatch for you today. Ember is a first-time guest, and Doc is a returning guest for the show. We like to explore some of the more off-kiltered ideas of how the universe works here. We
one way
talk
of putting
about
it.
we talk about young Earth creationists. We talk about flat Earth. We talk about people who think that rainbows are chemicals in the air. The things that people will believe about anything, chemtrails, all this stuff. But today we're revisiting something that I actually covered myself alone on my my Saturday morning show, which you should all check out. It's called Life in the Hive, and the first segment on it is my cryptic corner, where we explore these kind of topics as well. And I talked about the black goo over there. Now, the black goo is this alleged sentient goo that controls people's mind as like psychic damage, and all this has all these alleged properties, and has all these proposed impacts on people's health. And I am excited to find out what our panel that we're reviewing today has to say about it, and what my friends here think about their opinions. Before I get too far into this, though, I'd like to give each of y'all an introduction, or a chance to introduce yourself, I should say. So, go ahead, Ember.
You wanna? Yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm Ember. I'm a non-binary trans person. I do counter apologetics and as much science as I can actually get away with over on my YouTube channel, Better Than Ember, which often doesn't show up in the YouTube links because, I don't know, algorithm stuff. So if you want to find me, you may have the best luck going to betterthanreligion.com and clicking on the YouTube link there.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And I am Doc Dino. I am a doc Dino, not an actual doctor. Don't take medical advice from me, unless it's like basic stuff. But yeah, I do counter apologetic stuff too, though I am trying to transition more into just science education. I'm actually currently working on a review of Walking with Dinosaurs right now from the point of view of a paleontologist. So if you like dinosaurs, feel free to check me out. There'll be more stuff soon.
All right. So yeah, check both of these peeps out, because they got good stuff. They're doing good stuff in the community. But yeah, without further ado, let's have a look at the Supernatural show. Now, this popped into my feed because I like the supernatural, and I like ghosts and Bigfoot and aliens and all this stuff. That's always considered supernatural. So I thought supernatural show sounds right up my alley. It didn't take long of watching this before I found out that these were like hardcore, what I would have called when I was younger, Jesus freaks. I wouldn't use that term now, but they're just like really hardcore evangelicals. But they're really into everything being supernatural, in either of the devil or of Jesus. So I'm starting about 12 minutes in because they spent a long time on an intro, but I mean, we spent a long time on an intro too, so I'm not going to fault them at that. We're about 12 minutes ourselves, so. All right, you guys ready to go? And let me know if you all can hear this too in the live chat.
My brother.
I'm ready
Thank
to
you,
roll.
sir. Miss Shannon.
Hello.
What I'd like to do is do a quick timeline, if I may.
Yes.
I got into this back in July with the stuff that was in the bottom of a pool. The reason being is that originally they thought it was just some dirt or something that had accumulated. They shocked the pool. The pool was clear. They go in to clear it out. And all three people who went in that pool became ill. One even passed out from it. That's when they got in touch with me, and I came over and we started the investigation. Then we had a mysterious thing happen. A hole developed. Now, the pool has a liner in it, all right, but
Okay,
it also
so
has this.
Before I let him go too far more down this rabbit hole, I do want to say that the black stuff that grows on the bottom of a pool is called black algae. It's a real thing. I just pulled it up on the screen for the live chat, but it looks like this. And
Does it grow despite chlorine, or
it's very chlorine resistant. So it's one. My parents have a pool, so one reason I know, and they have a pool that was half shadowed underneath an awning. So underneath there, it would start growing first because there's it likes filtered light. It's one of the things that helps it to prosper and grow. But it's not an evil government substance, or we'll just let this guy talk more.
Linoleum type tile that is on the inside that you'd be putting your feet and stuff on. This hole developed, but there was no sign on the linoleum whatsoever on those tiles. Okay, well then they had to get the pool repaired. So the repairman came out. All that stuff was drained away. The tiles and all that were scrubbed, and the hole was.
Yeah, he was the video we watched, Jan. He was the video we actually watched in Jan's, I guess, in their chat, not ours. But this guy is the scientist that we watched in the first video. Mistaking their pop-ups for my pop-ups.
Repaired, tiles put back in place, and this occurred in middle of September. First or second week of September. Mm-hmm. They filled the pool, and this pool will hold just shy of 16,000 gallons of water. This is city water. Now, here in West Central Tennessee, it's been dry.
Which was Morrisville at the time, and we tied an onion to our belt, which was the style, you see.
Yeah. Where are we going with this?
So I'm like, my thoughts are, why are they calling this guy when they find black algae on the bottom of their pool? It's so bizarre because he thinks it's like demonic. I don't know, some like demonic creature. They think it's like venom. They actually bring up venom here in a little bit, so brace yourself.
We've only had like one or two rain events, so it wasn't coming out of the sky. Once they filled that pool up, the repairman told them that if there wasn't going to be anybody swimming in it, they had industrial strength chemicals that keep that pool shocked for 90 days. Help with the problem when they get ready to do it.
I remember my parents would shock the pool and tell us we couldn't swim in it for the weekend or whatever, and you'd be damned as soon as they went to bed, we weren't out there in that pool with our burning eyes, having fun and splashing around.
Yeah. And kids do a lot of stupid things.
Yeah, I mean, we were also jumping off the roof because, like I said, it had an awning that shadowed it, so we did all kinds of stupid shit.
Spring.
Yeah.
So they paid extra and they shocked that pool that's supposed to stay clear until the middle of December. That lasted somewhere around 45, maybe 50 days. And when they went out to check, all of a sudden the pool is green, but the substance in the bottom of it had changed. There was no major wind events. There was no major rain events. So
there is green. Remember that, green, because what color do pools turn when they sit unattended for a long time? They always turn green.
Typically green.
Yeah. Why can't they just pray the goo away, says AR. Aunt Jur says, ew, maybe clean your pool every once in a while. That's what I'm saying. You got to get down there and scrub it with a brush. You can't just, you really do. I've spent hours scrubbing pools because my parents couldn't afford a pool boy. So us kids were the ones who kept that pool clean. Actually, my dad really enjoyed vacuuming it, but let's see, I call a psychic every time I find soap scum in my tub. So yeah, there's this formation of like a black substance around, like the little form around faucets, around drains. It's that is byproduct of a manganese bacteria. You see when you see the red stains, that's an iron bacteria. But you see the black, it's a manganese bacteria. It's not harmful or anything. I mean, obviously clean it, wipe it up or whatever, but it's just the byproduct of their presence there. It means that there's magnesium in your water, which there is.
Yeah, like
What
around
we
here, usually you get.
I didn't mean to do that.
Around here, you usually get a. Jeez, we usually deal with calcium carbonate because we draw water from wells that are coming through limestone.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. In the Midwest, lots of limestone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lasted somewhere around 45, maybe.
Red residue is. I'm just saying we don't usually get a bunch of black or red residue.
Yeah, it depends on the location too, and the lighting that it gets, and all sorts of how humid it is, which of these bacteria form.
Sure.
But yeah, black and red are common.
Maybe 50 days, and when they went out to check, all of a sudden the pool is green, but the substance in the bottom of it had changed. There was no major wind events. There was no major rain events. So what we had discovering came strictly out of the municipal water supply. And this time it wasn't like what was there before. What was there before was graphene oxide, which to boil that down is just simply man's attempt at recreating some of the characteristics of black goo. We know how it operates.
Or it was black algae. Could be, right? Could be.
I mean, clearly there was a human trying to recreate something in their pool randomly.
It was a human synthetic attempt to make black goo. It goes deeper, guys.
Rates around electricity, around magnets. We know that it...
Doc, he's talking about magnets. You brought up magnets, Tapioca Weasel. We don't even know how they work.
Where's that weasel?
I'm sure Tapioca's happy hearing his favorite word.
And frequencies. But this is a whole different ball game. When they called me and told me what was there, I went over and was expecting a slightly green pool, and what I found was something completely different. Not only that, the stuff had almost totally covered the bottom of the pool.
So, are you a pool cleaner, dude? I'm just wondering because they keep calling him when they're about their dirty pool, and it's like, is that your job?
Dirty pool.
And it was no longer the little particulates that all came together that was so astounding in the last talk. But in this time, it was a goo. A black and dark green goo that covered the bottom of that pool.
Called algae. A black and dark green goo called algae covered the bottom of his pool. I wonder if thinks he's the first one to discover this. If like, yeah, there's pool treatment videos that you can look at. That here, let me show you guys real quick, just because this is what he's talking about.
He seems like an interesting individual.
Yeah, he's talking about this.
To put it nicely.
How to get rid of black algae in a swimming pool. This is what he's seeing. This is the goo. Yep, and the answer is to shock your pool, which is putting a shit ton of chlorine in it till everything that's in there dies.
I mean, that tracks.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be careful with that because, as I understand it, algae, when you expose it to things, it has a tendency to evolve on you. So, watch out.
No evolution allowed. Do not do that. It can
We
only
pulled
change
it up
within its kind. It cannot become a plant or something.
Yeah, stays within its kind.
Look at it, and the samples that we were pulling up were about an inch and a half thick to 2 inches, about 8 inches long. And it was very gelatinous. It was very, was like a gelatin or a goo.
The algae bloomed in the pool, is what happened. Very exciting stuff.
You may as well add some fish and just call it a pond.
Yeah. So anybody, is Dave out there? Dave takes care of a pond. Anybody who's taking care of a pond or a pool, like for long periods of time, should be familiar with algae and algae blooms, right? And how they impact.
But also, just how descriptive. It was very gelatinous, like a goo.
Like a goo.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a video of him playing in it here later on. Yeah. Gelatinous.
So then that's when I got in contact with y'all again, saying, okay, the circumstances that are coming out of municipal water have changed. Now we have this substance coming through. We already knew that the city waters, they use...
he thinks the algae grows, like, it doesn't grow in the pool. It comes in through the hose, I guess.
Hydrogel
is he going to say the F word?
Clean the...
What's the F word?
Fluoride.
Oh, yeah, that might come up here in a second. He talks about them putting stuff in our water.
The frogs gay.
Yeah.
Pipes, but they don't filter that back out. It comes right straight to your faucet, so whatever it has absorbed, which is what hydrogel does, is coming through your hydrant. Then we found out that they use graphene oxide as part of the water purification process.
So the algae is not necessarily coming through your system. I'm not saying that some of the spores or whatever couldn't be coming through, but generally it's growing in the pool itself. Whenever it's sitting in a place that's stagnant, and exposed to sunshine, is where it's gonna prosper at.
Yeah, but also like graphene oxide. Is he trying to say CO2, but try and make it sound scary?
I'm not sure where. Like, what is graphene oxide used for?
I mean, I just know graphene is just a form of carbon, and then oxide plus oxygen. So
from Science
carbon
Direct,
oxide.
Graphene oxide is the oxidized form of graphene. Of graphene.
Well, that's useful.
It has recently gained a lot of attention as a platform for tissue engineering applications. So tissue engineering, that's interesting. I wonder if they're gonna sink their teeth into that. Graphene
Oh, is that the stuff that James Tour's grad student uses to repair spinal cord damage?
let's see. GO is one of the suitable nanoparticles to enhance the hydrophilicity of the membrane. GO is usually prepared by Hummer's method. This is getting all very technical. I don't know how to read. Well, I don't know what Hummer's method is and everything. So I'm not going to pretend to understand this document. I was hoping it was going to give us a just a rundown of graphene oxide. I guess Wikipedia might have a more simplified version. Graphene oxide, formerly called graphitic oxide or graphitic acid, is a compound of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen in variable ratios obtained by treating graphite with strong oxidizers and acids for resolving and extra metals. The resolving of extra metals. So it's used to oxidize metals, I guess.
Okay.
Bulk product
Weird.
is yellow, not black. Yeah, I don't see how it's associated with black goo though.
I say.
I mean, that
Even
bit is
though
kinda
it is a
interesting, actually, if it's like yellow in bulk when it's made of carbon. Odd.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if there is that a binder though that's making it yellow. Because a lot of these
Maybe.
substances would require something to bind to. Like they can't be isolated. At least not if they're not isolated, or if they're isolated, they lose the chemical composition or whatever. But I don't know. I don't want to pretend to be a chemist. But I don't think we have to be a chemist to assess that he's talking about black algae on a pool.
Yeah, fair. Science nerd was just intrigued.
Yeah, he's just throwing out buzzwords, is what he's doing, that are used in the conspiracy community to strike fear into the hearts of consumers and the people who are scared of anything that sounds unnatural, like graphite oxide. Oh my gosh, they're putting graphite oxide. What's the word for water that they use? And people are like, oh my gosh, I'm shocked they're putting that in our...
Dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah, there you go. People are like, oh, dihydrogen monoxide is in everything that you eat.
It's in
and
your
it causes
veins.
cancers and all these other things. That didn't seem to matter. Now all of a sudden we have a whole different substance that have come through. This was epitomized when they had a situation where this black goo ended up in the bottom of a tea pitcher and a drinking glass, and this was supposedly out of filtered water.
Somebody needs to be doing some dishes. If you got black goo accumulating in the bottom of your tea pitcher or your drinking glass, somebody's whoever's supposed to be on dishes that week should be thoroughly reprimanded. Gross.
So these things combined is the reason I came and I went ahead and made a video where everybody could see exactly what we were pulling up.
Oh, thank you, Aunt Jur. In the conspiracy community, Aunt Jur just clarified for us. In the conspiracy community, graphene oxide is what makes the COVID vaccine magnetic.
Of
There
course,
we go.
Of course.
And it's accumulated in the bottom of swimming pools because someone peed in the pool, and all their COVID vaccine came out and out of their wee wee. All makes sense now. Stop peeing in the pool. Your COVID vaccine will get out. That's public service announcement.
Oh, no. We were talking about. I used rubber gloves, and you'll see that I even handled the stuff. Where before there was no way. The particulates were so tiny, you try to get it.
I'm going to try speed these guys up just a little bit. We'll do...
Yeah.
The accents are a little strong. I don't know if everybody can...
I mean, they're just a little bit of country. You ain't afraid of
Yeah.
no little country, is you?
No, that's it. I mean, I'm from this culture. I can slip into that accent if I need to because I grew up in
Yeah,
Missouri.
ain't that hard. It's actually kind of fun a little bit sometimes.
It would just get caught up in the water. It wouldn't even change the water color. And yet, y'all saw the evidence of it glowing.
Glowing.
So that kind of brought it into what all is black goo and how is it getting into the water supply and into people.
It's in your beard. Ah.
Right.
No.
Thank you, Dan, for the update there. My mind is running wide open with things here related to this. And then I know you went out and you took another video recently, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When I got over and I started realizing we were dealing with something completely different this time in characteristic and behavior, but this wasn't what we were dealing with before that had been washed out of the clouds that were over the car as well as in the pool. This was a different substance entirely. This was, and it happened so rapidly. There was no other water added to that pool except what came in from the city. And so my first concern is black goo is a sentient thing. They've proven it by putting it in different beakers, approximately 6 inches apart, and watched it try to reach out to each other. They know it has its consciousness, and they know a whole lot about its characteristics. They just haven't figured out exactly what it is.
But can it
They know it's been
really-
around, like you were talking about, from ancient times. And now all of a sudden it's popping up not only in water supplies, they're finding it a little bit everywhere. In fact, didn't you tell me they were pulling it up on drilling sites?
Supposedly, I've got a few of the articles pulled up. We'll look at them quick.
Hold on, let me show you what Doc sent from Aunt Jer's research here. It's just a screen grab of it, but here's the. Let's switch this out. We lost Ember's avatar. You left your avatar.
Oh, no.
Yeah, here we go. Here's this. Graphene oxide in Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine are the latest unsupported. Here are the latest unsupported claims. Go figure, right?
Yeah,
Shock.
that's conspiracy. They only make it say that because they want to.
Yeah. We know what you're up to, Pfizer. We know your game.
Quickly here in just a minute, but supposedly they're finding it in different mining sites where it's getting into the equipment where they're drilling with and causing major problems. This is like a new phenomenon. And also at garbage dumps, where they take garbage and cover it up, and apparently this stuff is moving in on the garbage. It's like starts accumulating and moving in on the garbage. It's like
Garbage that garbage gets covered with black goo as it decays. Is that man? That sounds like mold to me. Is it mold?
I mean, if there's an organism that wants to eat our plastics and diapers and shit, I say let it.
Yeah, there are some different organisms that they were working on they would break down certain plastic polymers and stuff, but
Yep.
We'll see what the future holds. I hope the black
I know
goose.
there's I know there's one for what's the? It's not latex. It's another like synthetic
Nylon.
something used for clothing. Nylon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a nylonophage.
It is what they put in the thread to make it stretchy.
Yeah, and then some scientists were just trying to mess with it, see what they could do, and they accidentally made it a lot better.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch to develop sentience and declare war on mankind myself.
It'll eat California.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine if like a huge tidal wave or something hit and pushed that garbage patch against the coast of California?
Then it'd get cleaned up real quick.
Oh my gosh! It's how much is in the Great Pacific Gyre? There's got to be hundreds,
Way
thousands
too
of
much.
ton. it's like a landmass of garbage. Ugh. North Pacific.
Yeah,
Humans don't deserve this planet a lot of the time.
You know, the sad thing too is that that's always been there, but it used to be like natural material that, there was animals that thrived in that big spiraling vortex of plant matter and wood and stuff and dead animals, way back before humans, and now it's all full of plastic and junk, and that biome is completely gone now. Would have been interesting to see what kind of creatures that thrive there, like stellar sea cows and stuff.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's showing up and of course in the Egyptian sarcophaguses and all these connections like to Osiris and I'm sitting here right now and pulling up
The stuff at the bottom of your pool is related to Osiris. Did you catch that?
Wait, Osiris?
The Egyptian god.
The Egyptian god Osiris?
Yep.
The Egyptian god of black goo?
The Egyptian god of black goo. Yes, indeed. The one and only.
I've got a video pulled
I
up
think I
here.
should be
It's called
happy my
Black or
girlfriend has
Saturn
her
Black
earbuds
Angel
in,
Gods
because
of
that
Hell.
would
That's
she would
why the
not be
website
happy
has been
about that.
built, the supernatural show. You go there and help us be an investigator for us. Do some work. Help us so we can get to the bottom.
Events that was told by major rain events.
Hold on,
So
I
what?
backed up too much.
And then I know you went out and you took another video recently, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When I got over and I started realizing we were
Into the equipment where they're drilling with and causing major problems. This is like a new phenomenon. And also at garbage dumps, where they take.
Okay, here's where we were. I was trying to rewind it.
Apparently, this stuff is.
We're trying to rewind it to the part where about Osiris, but here we are.
Moving in on the garbage. It's like starts accumulating and moving in on the garbage. It's like, yeah. And so, yeah, it's showing up and of course, in the Egyptian sarcophaguses and all these connections like to Osiris and I'm sitting here right now and pulling up.
Wait. He's
got a video.
He's conflating all these different kinds of sludge together. Like if it's black and gooey, it must all be the same thing. There is only one type of black jello in the world.
Apparently,
yeah.
That sludge from sarcophaguses. What was it that we discovered it a few years ago? There was that dare for somebody to drink it or whatever. It
turned out
the
to
thing
be
that kills people.
Yeah.
They find the preserving agent that they would smear on people too that preserves as a black goo, or that a byproduct of it over time is a black liquidy gooey substance, because it's derived from formaldehyde, basically. It's derived from like resin and stuff from plants. So the certain chemical aspects of it do turn into a syrupy like liquid and pool underneath the body. Yeah, I mean.
Well, now we have a new test for outing creationist conspiracy theorists. We can just carry around some Jello pudding and show people, and if they react like, "Oh God, it's black goo,"
yeah,
they've outed themselves.
I wonder what flavor black goo is. Is it like dark chocolate, or do you think it's? He said it's kind of green though, so I don't know. It's probably like kale flavor or something gross.
Chocolate chip. What is the flavor of death?
And Tsumami's like my.
Does putrescine have a flavor?
So
yes, unfortunately, it definitely does.
So there's lots of black
putrescine.
There's lots of black goo in pop culture, as our side chat is pointing out. We got the black goo from Prometheus and the Alien series. That was used to create life on Earth and create the aliens, apparently. And
sure.
Then you had
is the Alien series just the epitome of only watch the first one or two?
Depends on what you're in it for.
Exist.
They go from the first Alien is like almost like a slasher horror movie, and the second one is like a sci-fi combat movie, with Space Marines, and the third one's like a prison break or a breakout along the tiers of like Jurassic Park, just trying to escape. And then what else do you got? I can't remember. Then it gets into some weird science stuff, and then you get to Prometheus, which is its own thing. And when you're running in Prometheus, you can't run to the side. You got to run straight.
Yep, it's classic. It's legendary. Prometheus School of running away from things.
Yeah.
No, when I think of sentient black goo with psychic powers that can make you feel bad, I think of that stuff from Skin of Evil in Star Trek: The Next Generation that killed Tasha Yar. That's clearly what's going on here.
Yeah. Well, then Sumami brings up Hexus from Fern Gully, which was voiced freaking superbly by Tim Curry, by the way. And he does this musical number in that's like the little melt you. It's so good. It's like so good, deliciously evil. What other black goo we have? Of course, we got Venom. We got 2 votes for licorice flavored. I think I gotta put a poll up, don't you guys? I'll put a poll up to see.
People love polls. Which kind of licorice though? Like regular or the black licorice?
Okay, so what options are we gonna do? We'll do
licorice, Tim Curry.
Okay, licorice.
Tim Curry flavored.
Yes.
Licorice. Tim Curry.
Evil Jello. And tapioca weasel.
Evil Jello. And we're gonna do tapioca weasel. I think that's all the options that I'm gonna have. It made it topical weasel. Fucking spell check. Topical weasel. Now it tried to do it. Do I want tropical weasel? No, I don't. I want these options. There we go. And the black is implied with the licorice, sweeties. So vote away. All right, let's see where they're going now.
Video pulled up here. It's called Saturn Black Cube and Black Goo. And then I have another video here pulled up because it hit my mind. You remember Scarlett Johansson doing the movie called Under the Skin?
Under the Skin, and she also did Lucy, and they both have reference
Black Goo.
to
Exactly.
Black Goo. On that note,
I've never seen Under My Skin. I've seen Lucy. Is there black goo in Lucy? Is the stuff that she gets injected with the black goo?
I don't know. I just know that Lucy perpetuates that myth about the brain that
10% thing.
Yeah,
humans only use 10%
awful.
of their brain. Ember dropped again, but you know.
Certain humans do.
Yeah.
of it being a sentient thing and it having a consciousness, something to note, and why maybe this is being more pumped out into every, like, water supplies, things along those lines. It has the ability to affect your emotional state. And Harold's his encounters with this substance, he had found himself to be angry, fearful, full of rage, and things he never would have before for several hours. It can have quite an effect on your being. So that being said,
so AR asks an important question that I think that we need to address: is motor oil black goo? Because it does kind of control if you can go places and stuff. So it is controlling your life a bit. And if you have anything in your house with a compressor in it, it's got some level of motor oil in it. So this black goo is really controlling your life, right?
Maybe it'd be like a black goo too, not the normal stuff.
But the motor oil is not even... If your motor oil is black, though, it's probably needs to be changed. I mean, because... Doesn't it go in kind of a golden color?
Depends on the brand, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I know when you strike oil when you're drilling, it's black.
Yay, hydrocarbon.
That maybe black goo is the Earth's blood.
Some creationists say no. No.
We're vampires.
Harold Vella.
Harold Kautz Vella, if I'm saying that correctly. But yes.
And he's tying it to transhumanism and AI.
That's correct. And, you know, the fact that the Nazis would be given, like the SS, they would be given artifacts that were created.
Who had Nazis on their bingo card? Because we took about 10 minutes to get there, but we got Nazis. We got Nazis.
Or had.
It is odd with conspiracy theorists. Well, it is odd with conspiracy theorists. Either they really hate the Nazis, or
maybe the Nazis
the other
right. Is what they. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Yeah, that's the.
Like it's one of the two.
Yeah, it's always either we're Nazis or they're secretly Nazis. Is how they argue it. The people that are against them are Nazis, or they're secretly the Nazis themselves. Who knows?
If I'm saying that correctly, but yes.
And he's tying it to transhumanism and AI.
That's correct. And, you know, the fact that the Nazis would be given, like the SS, they would be given artifacts that were created or had parts of this stone or the black goo within it. And they were ordered to carry these things around with them at all.
I so want a Nazi black goo weapon just so I can say I have it. What kind of powers would they have?
Source for any of this?
Just trust me, dude. It's a just trust me, dude source. You want a Nazi blade that has black goo in the blade, so it does like psychic damage when you use it. Would it be like a +1 to psychic damage, wouldn't it? Or would it be a -1 to psychic damage because it do psychic damage on you unless you were engaged in combat with somebody else?
Ooh. Maybe it does 1 psychic damage to you and your opponent when used.
Yeah. Okay, that would work. Or it could even do 2 psychic damage to your opponent, since that way it would give you incentive to use it and keep killing people. That's psychotic. Yeah. Sounds very Nazi-like.
I do like when... Oh.
I was just going to say, that sounds like
I do like when RPGs... Oh, you first.
I was going to say, that sounds like something to be a good movie plot. Like they find a Nazi weapon that has black goo in it that drives you to kill. Anyway, but something you could get in a game, yeah, like an RPG.
Yeah, I like RPG weapons or skills that are like that. Like you take some damage to deal more damage. I like that stuff. But yeah, I think there's like just enough lag that we keep talking over each other a tiny bit, and I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. I see Ember in the side chat saying that they can't get StreamYard to reload right now because of their Wi-Fi. Yeah, come back in when you can, Ember. And if you can't, you can't. That's fine. We'll persevere on through this. I don't know how long we're gonna stomp through this nonsense. I at least want to get to the Lady Gaga part.
All times to keep up that rage, to keep up that anger, that hate. So thinking of the things that are going on right now in the world, the fact that the world stage is, and all those who are leading it are trying to get us divided, to get us angry, to get us out in the streets, wanting to hurt each other and being against one another. The ramp up of this goo popping up in all these places makes.
By the way, this is the plot to Ghostbusters 2, except for the goo is pink, I think. Right? I mean, this is basically the plot to Ghostbusters 2, except for with a black goo instead of pink goo. Making everybody.
I've never seen Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I grew up on Ghostbusters. That was fake.
Yeah, I know it's a sin, but I've never watched Ghostbusters. Just never interested me.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, there's movies like that for me too.
A lot of sense, if that helps.
Yeah, indeed it does.
You know, Daniel, you were talking a minute ago about movies.
Mm-hmm.
Try Venom.
Venom.
Oh,
Yep.
there we go.
It
Venom.
is a black goo that overtakes. It becomes a symbiote, takes over the.
So that's the fun thing about Venom is the writers that created Venom, they actually talked about how it was inspired by ferrofluids, and the way that ferrofluids would move. This is back in
that's interesting.
in the early days of the cool guy IT people that that would get different materials and do experiments with them for and videotape it. But yeah, I don't know. You ever seen like the videos of them doing different fluids reacting to sound waves and things like that?
I've seen stuff like that. Ferrofluids are awesome.
Like from the late 70s to into the 90s even, they were still doing those videos. I kind of miss them. I guess you find YouTube channels that do them now, but they used to just interject them in the middle of like Sesame Street and shit, that you'd just be able to boom, all of a sudden you're watching a cool science experiment with weird materials and stuff. And the ferrofluids was one that they always showed reacting to magnets and stuff and getting spiky. And yeah, so Maya voted licorice, I guess. Jason Jacoby voted coffee and tapioca weasel versus licorice. Yeah, we should have made it coffee and tapioca weasel, or tapioca weasel coffee, because I know that if we don't promote tapioca weasel brand coffee, no one will. And you know how that there's that special expensive coffee where the civets eat the beans and then they extract them and make and sell the coffee beans with them. Dr. Tapioca Weasel does a very similar process. I'll make an ad for it so everybody can know about how it's made.
Oh dear.
All right, let's get going because we got a lot to cover. There's I only want to run through about an hour of this, but they get into some. I mean, as you can see, they get into some crazy woo stuff. I definitely want to get to where they watch the Lady Gaga video. It's pretty funny.
The host and all the emotions within it is all about anger and rage. And I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say there's also another movie, Phantom, back in the 90s or maybe early 2000s, where this substance takes over a town and possesses people. And this man who comes in, who's done all this research upon it, helps them to try and figure out what it is. But he mentions that this is an ancient substance that is demonic in all essence, and these people keep getting possessed by this goo. There's a lot of film. Actually, even one more thing to note. I'm not.
It's funny they don't mention Dark Water. Have you ever seen that? It's got Jennifer Connelly in it.
I have not.
Yeah, and it's about what's I can't tell you what the plot or what they discover at the end without ruining the twist. But there's like black goo in their pipes that keeps stirring things up. Yeah, and I did just invite either if Maya or Tapioca Weasel wants to pop in, we can. They certainly can, since Ember's having internet problems. Because the more 3 to 4 people is about perfect for a stream like this, especially when the people we're covering are already on a panel.
Yeah.
If we were just watching one person, maybe up to 5 people or so. But if we're watching a panel of 3 people, I think having more than 3 people on our panel is a little redundant.
A big fan of Lady Gaga, right? But she came out with this perfume.
Wait, what?
I'm not a big fan of Lady Gaga, right? But she came out with this perfume quite a while ago called Fame. And just the ingredients in this perfume was just absolutely horrible. I mean, we're talking, she herself said there is the structure of semen, blood, and other terrible substances within this perfume that she's getting her fans to spray all over themselves. Well, she made this in just disturbing commercial that was more like a short little film where it's all about the black goo, and she becomes this idol that all these men are aroused by, and they are all worshiping. And
It's the love potion number 9 kind of thing, but I just want to say, because she's like, it has semen and stuff in it. I don't know. I don't know if
Like, I would not put that in a perfume.
I don't know if they could pass the FDA with that if you sprayed it on your body. I don't think they could. Let's see, ingredients of fame: alcohol, dinette, perfume, fragrance, aqua, water, yayu, which I don't know what language that is. It's given them in different languages, the ingredients. Methocyanamate, benzoyl benzoate, butyl. I wish I had. See, I should have a chemist on to tell me what all this shit is. I mean, why aren't you a chemist instead of a dinosaur? You're wearing a lab coat.
Because chemistry is for mammals.
Dinosaurs don't have chemistry.
Sometimes.
What are you going to do if I teach a bunch of ravens to help me in my lab? And they're doing chemistry and dumping chemicals together. They're like, look at these dinosaurs. And that'll make you feel bad about your failure as a dinosaur.
Only slightly. A spear to the heart, 'twould be.
Do you think that that dromaeosaurs were smarter than corvids?
I mean, it's definitely possible for some species. There would have to be... Intelligence is odd. Like, it's not really clear what goes into the selective pressures for them, other than, like, a sociality.
Yeah. But we know definitively that corvids are social, whereas when it comes to dromaeosaurs, most of them seem to be solitary, right? As far as what we can tell from their ethology.
We can't really tell, honestly.
Okay. Well, I don't want to misspeak then. I'll go with what you're saying here.
I mean, like, there's some fossil sites, like, Deinonychus is infamous for this, where there's just a ton of dead ones around a Tenontosaurus.
Yeah.
But it's not clear exactly how they died. They could have been killed by other Deinonychus who were just drawn to the carcass.
But is it the result of mob feeding or pack hunting, right? Was mob feeding it's hard to distinguish sometimes, because mob feeding, they still pull down just like a pack of wolves do and then start tearing it apart. It's what Komodo dragons will do. What Cuban crocs will do too.
There's Nazi affiliation within this film / commercial too. It's just quite abhorrent, but it's literally...
How would I find that commercial, Shannon?
It should be on YouTube. I mean,
tell me a couple of keywords.
It's Fame. The commercial, the perfume is that. So look up Lady Gaga Fame commercial, and
they take a long time to get
the
to
most
it, though.
insane.
They watch a
commercial I've ever.
They watch Homeboy do his pool thing for quite a while before they get to the commercial. But we'll see what we do when we get to that point.
And it's really long.
Almost speed it up a little bit more.
Again, though, the substance that she says is in this perfume that she is trying to, or that millions of her fans went out and bought, is just, as it is, black magic. And this this commercial is something else. But it is all about black goo.
We're going to take a peek at just a little bit of it here in a minute. But first, because I got a ton of things to show and get through here. I want to figure this whole subject out today, but it ain't gonna happen. But
this will be a series of shows.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue. Dan, now I have a video here that you sent me when you went back out to collect the sample recently. Do you want me to show that video?
If you would, please, sir.
Okay. All right. So we'll take a look here. This is when Dan went back out to collect the stuff out of the pool, and we're trying to determine a method in order to analyze this stuff and look at it closer and see if it's the same stuff. Oops, we lost Dan there for a second. Oh, he's back. Okay. Thought we lost you there for a second, Dan, but you popped right back in. Okay, so but we were thinking about shipping it to a friend, a sister, and she knows who she is, but we're concerned about actually using Postal Service to ship anything that could be turned back on us and say, you shipped something that was terrible, and get somebody or everybody in trouble. So we're gonna have to go a different route. We're not sure yet, but we're gonna deal with it. We might need y'all guys' help with that, but meaning y'all guys, the viewers, but we'll let you know. But let's go ahead and take a look at Dan's video, and we'll go from there.
Poll update. We are looking at Tapioca Weasel is always in the lead with 43% of the vote. We have Licorice Flavor at 36% of the vote. Evil Jello, 14%. And poor Tim Curry is pulling up the lead, pulling up the tail at a mere 7%. All right, that's the poll.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Sorry, Hexus. Sorry. Maybe if you were doing Transsexual Transylvania, that you might get more votes. But doing Hexus is just not, doesn't have the hammer and power, Mr. Curry.
Oh, technical difficulties.
Yeah. Are you pushing buttons, Shannon?
Nope.
Okay. Try again.
Here's our homeboy
Trying to see if there's a way to
pool.
bring the volume up some, but I've got it jacked all the way up, I think. Let me check it here. No. All right, so we'll just have to listen as best we can. Okay. I mean, we have Dan here with us, so he can tell us what's going on. You want me to just mute the audio, Dan, and you tell us what's going on, or do you want me to let the audio just play through?
Well, either way is fine. Basically, what I wanted you to see was the pool itself and the condition that after 50 days they found this pool in. And then I go around in 3 or 4 locations and pull this up where people can see it. This is the pool here.
That is literally just a dirty pool. I've seen my parents' pool look like this every freaking spring when they open it up, and then in the fall when they close it down, it's always looking pretty funky and green too. So,
to be sparkling, clean swimming water.
How long ago was this water replaced again?
The second week of September, I think.
And they used chemicals and stuff to take
industrial strength.
Right, but yet it still did this.
It was supposed to last for a solid at least 90 days, and it lasted about 45 to 50.
And how long ago did you take this video, Dan?
Last week.
Last week. Okay.
In fact, it may have been the first part of this week. It was either Sunday or Monday, I think, when I took this video.
Okay.
Just a few days ago, anyway.
They had industrial strength chemicals that they could shock this pool that would last 90 days. In other words, this pool should be crystal clear and swimmable through the middle of December. You see now what has occurred. Why? Because this is 16,000 gallons that is not moving. It is sitting here and allowing this stuff to collect. Now, if you take a look...
It's not collecting, it's growing, sweetie. It's algae.
I just pulled a sample, and I apologize, the camera stopped, and so we're having to re-pick it up. This is a sample of what just came out of the bottom of this pool.
That is algae. Algae, maybe? Is it better if I say algae?
I think it's worse.
Worse? Black... What if I call it black goo?
Only if you emphasize the goo.
Goo? What if I call it black goo?
This is not tiny particulates, but this has all manner of bugs. It has black goo in it, and it has a dark green substance. We will do this at 3 other locations just to show you that it covers the entire pool. And then when we get to the last one, I'll actually pull this out and show you the consistency.
Why are you dumping it back in?
If you notice, not much of it is clinging to the lead itself. Just a small amount of residue. So it's not like this is a sticky, slimy substance. And if you remember, this pool was...
Yeah, it's algae and detritus that's collected in the pool. And the algae likes growing on the detritus because that's where it gets its nutrients from.
Now, they did have to pack another hole, but this pool has gone down since we visited this pool to take those pictures that we posted just the other day. It's gone down even further, which means this is utilizing the water. That is real indicative of hydrogen. That is what they're using to bind all of this.
Where are they located at that they're swimming into December, though, I wonder?
Here is at the back side.
No idea.
Wait a minute, let me try it again.
I think you said Texas.
There's another small sample back here. Same kind of consistency. same colorations.
Let's learn about pool algae together as a family. The gray goo? Oh no, not the gray goo.
People, I'm doing this because this is actually in the drinking water that you're having into your house. This isn't set aside.
There's not this in your drinking water because it requires sunshine and stagnant. It's to sit stagnant in the sun before it can bloom and grow like this. So no, it's not in your drinking water because your drinking water is kept in the dark until it gets to you.
This is the swimming pool.
All right, how long do we watch this guy fish stuff out of his pond?
And please, in the comments of either show, and the danger that it presents to you.
Okay.
Wait, in that volume, that this is allowed to accumulate like it does. Otherwise, you'd never know. But this is it.
There we go. That is definitely algae.
Remember, those who swam in this pool got very ill, and it didn't look anything like this thing. So you can imagine the possible how lethal this water can be. So, with that,
Do you think that algae is lethal?
Depends on how much you eat.
It looks more green than black to me, though. It just looks like pool algae.
and the pictures that we're presenting, I think you get a good idea of what has transpired. Again, this is 16,000 gallons.
Well, Brian Stevens, I'm not going to come down on him too bad about his yard. It is, if it's December in Texas, his yard's going to be yellow, right? I mean, it's my experience anyway.
I mean, even just being in Texas.
Yeah, especially if he's in West Texas. Sir, that is pond scum algae, right? I know. It's like, have you ever cleaned a pool before?
Sir, this is Wendy's.
It's like he put like if he was like someone digging in the dirt and seeing why are all these little white hairs sticking down through the dirt? What's going on here? It's a conspiracy.
In that volume, that this is allowed to accumulate like it does. Otherwise, you'd never notice it in your drinking water. This stuff is not going to show up until it's had time to sit and grow to itself. There are always all in this water where you see it growing to itself. This is what is going on in every municipal water system in America. Brothers and sisters, I humbly ask you to check your pools, to check your ponds that you have for decoration. Check and see what is happening with the water that is coming to your house and the danger that it presents to you. If this truly is black goo, then everything that they had.
I'd like to like share this video with like a pool cleaning company or like people that install ponds and stuff, just so they can see what people think out there about algae. And yeah, black algae in the pool. And then this didn't even look like black algae. I've seen black algae too. It comes in little like poof balls on the bottom. Green algae like this is like a lot like stringier than black algae. And when you scrub black algae, it basically evaporates into powder when you like into particulates. But when you scrub green algae, it tends to stay stringy and all connected together and gooey. But yeah, this looks like green algae.
Tried to force us to put in our arm. They had just simply broken it down and put it into the water supply. This is what I'm offering unto you for your discussion, your consideration. And please, in the comments of either show, please say if there's something that you know, something you're aware of, something that you have an expertise in, please don't hesitate. America needs your help.
All right, so America needs your help, Doc. You heard it. What is your advice to the panel that we're talking to right now? If they watch this back, what are you going to say to them about the pool thing? The floor is yours.
I mean, I was going to say dissolve America and nuke the pool.
Well, there you have it.
The official solution.
The final solution, let the black goo win. By giving it radioactive strength. You know, that's how they made Godzilla, right, Doc? You're gonna hit this pool with a nuke and make a
Use
Godzilla,
enough.
a black slime Godzilla, a black goo. I said black slime. I don't want to offend the black goo by calling it black slime. I might start coming out of my pipes to get me.
Join us as we stand against this kind of government-sponsored genocide. Gracious Heavenly Father,
What?
we come in the mighty name of Yeshua.
He said, "Bless, grace us, Heavenly Father." But let's re-listen to that last bit. We'll go back 10 seconds. There we go.
Need your help. Join us as we stand against this kind of government-sponsored genocide.
Government-sponsored genocide by letting algae grow in your swimming pool. Don't drink the algae water, is what he's saying.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we come in the mighty name of Yeshua, HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, and we
Oh,
ask
look,
all of your
the people on the panel are closing their eyes and praying with him too.
children.
Sorry, this guy's just a few crayons short of a full box.
Yeah, he's praying about scary algae. It's really weird. We're about to get to Lady Gaga, though. Don't you worry.
Trying to do to them, to their home, to their children, by poisoning this. They not only poison the water supply, but the food supply, the plants, the trees. All of it is suffering from this. And we ask that you awaken your children. Let them know that you are the only hope they have. The power in your holy word stops this immediately.
Street asphalt is also black goo, says AR. Absolutely.
Oh, true.
Sumami says, did he just say America needs your help? Yes, America needs all your help. Let's work together to fight the dangers of government-sponsored pond scum that's threatening the American way. You thought it was communism, but it was really algae the whole time. Wave the flag. Do we got a flag, Doc?
I do not.
I don't think we have a flag here. Sorry. Well, maybe. Woo! Go America.
No, your patriotism is failing.
Damn it. I have a pride flag. That just pissed them off even more.
And we stand by the power of the Holy Spirit. But guide us, O Lord. Guide us. Let us have your wisdom and understanding of it, and know how to
recall Revelation 6:5.
Ooh, got some end time prophecy. I wanted to move past their prayer, though. I feel kind of rude stepping on someone's prayer. I don't care, but I think everybody has a right to pray about stuff, but it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen to it.
Yeah. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Sit and see." And I beheld, lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
And they actually mistranslated it. It was, I beheld a white or a black goo the whole time.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." I just, can't help but make that potential connection there that the third horse, of course, of Revelations is a black horse, which means something that is black, that has great power, and it could be supernatural and be tied to this.
Holy shit, I was just joking. He is going to go with, hey, this was the black horse is the black goo?
Well, don't you know, the Bible is all metaphor, except when it has to be literal.
Hexus took all kinds of forms, though, so maybe it is Hexus, because he was always shape-shifting, right? I haven't seen Ferngully in forever, but...
I'm not saying it is for sure yet. It likely will become clear to me if it is, but I just couldn't help but bring that up. Any other thoughts there on the pool situation, Dan, that you want to share?
Yes, toward the end of the video, we got up on the deck where you could actually look down at the pool and actually see that it's trying to come together. The problem is, like I said in there, the thing that has me so disturbed is that there's nothing healthy in black goo. And yet this is this is not an isolated event. When you start looking into it, this is happening nationwide. This is just because that pool set there allowed the volume to sit stationary for now.
Just because the pool set there in the direct sunlight, allowing the plants to photosynthesize in the water.
It's gathering at the bottom of it. Otherwise, you'd never see it. And people are bathing in it, watering their gardens with it?
Because there's no algae growing in the water that's not getting in the water that's in your pipes, that fills up your bathtub, all that stuff doesn't have algae spores in it, right? It's not blooming. There are a lot of factors come into play to create an environment for algae, and those just aren't happening in the water, in the space between the water treatment plant and your home.
I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if he thinks water can be treated.
There's certain things that you can't get out of water. At least the modern treatment methods don't seem to be as effective against, right? But hormones and things like that get into the water.
Maybe.
I don't
know.
I don't want to oversell the conspiracy about that because I haven't done any real research into it. But I understand that there are things that they don't get filtered out of the water that may affect our biology. I'm not going to say that can't happen or hasn't happened, or that some contamination that we've received isn't causing certain illness among a portion of the population. I don't want to make that claim. I don't put it above any municipality to cut corners on water treatment for a population. Look at Flint, Michigan, right? But I don't think anybody's putting anything nefarious into the water that's going to mind control us or anything stupid like that. But yeah, there could be contaminants in our water for sure. But algae ain't it. This ain't the guy, right?
Stop blaming the algae.
Feeding it to their pets, all unaware that they're feeding this kind of carcinogen, this kind of sentient being into their body.
Sentient being. That's a bold claim about the algae that you were just playing with in the pool. Did it seem sentient to you when you were squeezing it and catching it in little nets?
And I think he just said sentient. So just okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be self-awareness is something I don't know that's been proven in algae or any plants for that matter, but
or conspiracy theorists.
If it was just an isolated event with the pool, I never would have brought it up. But its implication, when you look into it, all the municipalities are using the same modality for their water. Like we reported before, if your water is just 35% contaminated, they do not have to report it. But right now it's sitting at 62%. But when that thing broke loose in March of 2020 or 2019, and everybody got concerned with it ending up in the water supply, then they had a executive order.
They're talking about COVID. Conspiracy theorists still think that if they say that word on their channel, they're gonna get their channel yanked down. But I've been talking to everybody about using the word COVID all the time, and nothing bad's happened. But they think they'll get targeted by YouTube if they say it.
So they don't have to report it anymore. So this is ongoing. And the things that you, I think, have there will start to show just how this could be devastating, not only to people, but the plants, to the pets.
Did you notice that there's a higher ranking tapioca weasel now in my side chat who's a chemist?
Oh, no.
Wow.
Everything that's on the surface of the earth, if we don't become aware of it and be able to stand on God's word and fight it.
Yeah, you're talking about the plants and such, having water plants and so on. Let me go ahead and share our screen here. Here we go. This is an article from waste360.com, and it's talking about wastewater and things like that. Okay, and it's talking about Mission Black Goo, figuring out what it is and how to tackle it. And if we all think about it,
sorry about that,
around our water, when your water comes out of your tap and everything, if you go there right now and wipe inside of it, you're going to find black goo, or either a black crusty substance. Is it related? I'm not sure. Am I suspicious?
Especially in dishwashers, Daniel.
Yep, especially in
Right
dishwashers.
at the doorway, right where that bottom seal is, you'll actually find the goo itself. It's not even crusted.
Now Now that's what I was talking about
This article,
earlier.
it says, for the past several years, some landfills are experiencing a new phenomenon: black solids that are making their way into these sites and into.
That's what I was talking about earlier with the manganese bacteria, the black and around the seals on your dishwasher and stuff. That's where that kind of grows at.
Lichet and gas collection systems, clogging equipment and impairing management and extraction of lichet and gas, referred to as black goo. No one is positive where it comes from or even exactly what it is, but the scientists studying the gummy solids say it seems to be a polymer-like material, meaning a gel, like hydrogel, polymer-like material that tends to stick together. It's showing up on better landfills and is reported to be especially problematic where operators accept wastewater treatment plants, sludge. So the sludge coming from wastewater treatment plants. Through the multiple changes in the waste stream, there is a lot more to learn. And I'll post these articles and stuff on the Black Goo discussion group on the website. So if anybody wants to, they can go there and read the rest of the articles and stuff, because there's a lot more here to be read.
Now, I'm not sure about your guys' area, but out here in California, our water treatment facilities are now allowing treated water from sewage in a certain percentage. And I'm curious as to how many other areas have that in their water systems as well, considering, you know, sewage, wastewater is a big proponent in this. Just kind of wanted to throw that out.
Yeah. Never mind spinning in circles. I apologize.
And I know.
Here we go. We're getting into the Lady Gaga stuff now. We've gone as soon as we get past this waste management discussion.
No, you didn't interrupt me. You're the co-host. You can't interrupt me. What I mean by that is this is your show too. So, let's just look through some of this stuff, because obviously we don't have all day, and I'm going to post all the links to all this stuff on the Black Dude discussion group on the supernatural.show, thesupernatural.show. So let me we'll play just a little bit of this. This is Lady Gaga's thing where you were talking about, Shannon.
There's even eggs referenced in it. It's you guys are gonna trip out on this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we need to mute it though, because of
So much.
So we might want to mute it though. Just the sound is pretty horrific.
Okay.
And I don't know if we'll have.
We can't just let it play because it'll copyright.
Right.
So they'll kick us, they'll interrupt the stream and stuff like that. But what I can do is kind of jump through it here just a little bit at a time, just kind of see. Basically, what we're doing is just looking to see the imagery. Now she's showing her mouth there, of course. It's not her mouth, but it's full of black goo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So scary. Black goo everywhere.
Here's the idol of Gaga.
Right.
Which will be referenced later.
Golden
idol.
All these men perform.
So I think the idea is that Gaga, they're claiming that Gaga is like that she's a satanic replacement for God or something. Here's some pharaoh fluids though, doing their thing.
Forming. Oh, here's the view.
Okay, so there's the frequency controlled sentient type. This kind of gives me an idea for a test for you somehow, Dan. I wonder how this stuff would react to being bombarded with certain frequency.
Especially praise music, like we mentioned before, Dan.
Yeah, that too. That's all frequency. You could, think it through and maybe try some different kind of little experience.
That's magnets, is what you're looking at there. That's pharaoh fluids responding to magnets. I'm
sure magnets come in different frequencies.
Yeah, well, we got like weasel wars going on in my side chat here. It's getting epic.
Experiments with it or something and record it with your cell phone. Plus your cell phone itself, there are apps you can download that will produce various frequencies, and I don't know, but before you do anything, take it to Father and talk to them about it and make sure we ain't doing something we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, because the last thing I want is for all of a sudden something to stand up in that pool and ask me to dance.
Right. Right.
He thinks his algae's going to become sentient. Do they think? My question is: does he look at this black goo in the Lady Gaga video and think, "Yes, this is the same thing I was pulling out of that pool, out of that swimming pool"? Does he think they're the same substance, or that those are the same substances that form around the drain? Weird. So anything that has a gooey property that is black is automatically black goo now. Interesting. Asphalt.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
And here she is, some black goo being demonic creature.
Isn't she just dressed in black vinyl?
This reminds me of
This is like she was dressed in a black vinyl catsuit to me, the shiny ones.
Under the Skin, Charlotte Johansson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very similar to that. And the also Lucy, the movie she did, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so
there's again Nazi reference in this particular, and this is a commercial, you guys, for perfume. Okay, it's not even a music video; it's a commercial for her perfume.
Everything's a music video for Lady Gaga. I mean, really, she treats everything like that. Even award ceremonies and everything, she does all the outfits and acts this way. Yeah.
Which, as I mentioned, has black magic within it and terrible, terrible ingredients.
Of course it does. Can you just say you don't like the perfume,
weird.
lady?
It's so weird.
She just all about hating on Lady Gaga. But yeah, just I mean that's what it comes down to. You know, you don't like Lady Gaga, whatever.
no, from what I can tell, Gaga is a man or either a hermaphrodite.
Right.
There it was, hermaphrodite. That's what he says, hermaphrodite. It's my favorite word now. I've never heard that before. Lady Gaga is a hermaphrodite. Let's roll that back and hear it one more time.
Gaga is a man or either a hermaphrodite.
A hermaphrodite?
It's just like Pink.
Why?
The Spice Girls.
Uh-huh.
They're real spicy because they're men.
The Spice Girls are also hermaphrodites. Pink? Do you know Pink is a hermaphrodite?
The main character from what was it? What another brick in the walls from? Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Oh.
Take one of them home. See what you get.
No. There's more of the black goo reference. And there's the eggs all surrounding the black goo, which symbolically could mean a lot of things. But I'll let y'all think about that.
Right.
I can't think about that. All I can think about is hermaphrodite.
I think they're idiots.
That's just the funniest word. It's so bad when people like that's what I was talking about when I'm, it's like there's going to be some transphobia in this, but it's so badly executed that it's not even transphobia anymore because they're just making up terms.
The egg is about creation, evolution.
Exactly.
You're kind of talking I bet go kind of thing here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Evolution, the eggs. Because in Jesus' world, there are no eggs. Eggs are filthy. Filthy evolutionist propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, let me just look over this way. See, I really don't have a whole lot of interest in showing.
Right. It's just, it is literally all about the goo. And again, it's a commercial for perfume for people to put on themselves.
He's like, I don't want to show it too much.
Yeah, you can't just go buying stuff and put it on yourself. It comes from especially these big companies. You get the exact opposite of what you hope you're getting or that you think you're buying. So let's see what we have Don't have anything there. Let's see what's next. Okay, this is Dan's channel, guys. Make sure you go over and subscribe to More Than a Conqueror on YouTube. Let's see what we got.
If you guys go to Dan's channel, be nice, okay? You can ask him about the black, about the black, about the black goo, but don't bully him.
Okay, how do I call him a moron in a nice way?
Oh, that's something you're probably gonna have to work on, right?
Got here. This was when I ran a search for the Borg black goo, and you get the Borg is the cube that you see in the Warp Speed website. Let me pull it up and show it. I'd imagine it's still up. So Operation Warp Speed.
Now, Operation Warp Speed is COVID stuff.
Probably this top one right here.
So black goo is COVID. It's what all the COVID looks like when it conglomerates together. It's black goo. And the actual COVID infection is the black goo. And it wasn't actually an infection. It was injected through your vaccine. You understand? Doc?
Sorry, I am... These people are just... What the hell?
Did the black goo get you? It's all connected.
It has got me.
Yes. All connected. Black goo.
This is not the site I'm thinking about. Let me find it. I think they would have it linked here, but I don't
yeah.
see it. Let me look here again. Okay. Mint. It was very occultic. But you have the cube, and it's, as you can see, it's flying through time and space. It's speeding ahead.
That actually looks more like the puzzle box from the Hellraiser movies than it does a black cube. It looks like a gold cube. Like, yeah, like if you get it all shifted around right, it's going to summon Pinhead.
Trying to make the future the present. And of course, we know that the Borg cube, which is where this symbolism comes from, is tied to exactly what we're talking about. And it may be directly tied to the cube in Mecca. And I'm sure it is.
It is. I mean, the stone in that cube that every Muslim must kiss, they have to literally kiss it, is created from, they say, this meteorite that heralds.
You're talking about the stone, I think it's in Mecca. Are you familiar with that?
I am not, actually.
Hold on, let me pull up some info on it for us. The Kaaba stone is what it's called. A black stone is a rock set into the eastern corner of the Kaaba, the ancient building in the center of the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. It is revered by Muslims as an Islamic relic, which, according to Muslim tradition, dates back to the time of Adam and Eve. So it's a Muslim relic.
Mentions is of that stone that carries the black goo.
Right. Just looking at some of the mathematical matches, because they use math in everything they do, and they encode everything.
Oh boy, here's numerology too. Did anybody have numerology on their bingo cards for this show?
Did not. I should have.
Yeah, we're gonna do bad maths. Bad maths.
And it's a mathematical match for Prince Charles of Wales, which is kind of interesting. And what it is a mathematical match for. So what do you think the coincidence of this is? Let me pull this back up here. Of course, we won't say those words, but we got Operation Warp Speed, and we got that as a on-purpose mathematical match. Where'd Dan go? Did we let him off?
No, he's having some technical difficulties.
Right. Yeah.
He should be back on though.
His phone's probably getting hot to run out of battery or something other. But yeah, that is a mathematical.
I do kind of wonder if he's like, oh man, they're getting into some weird numerology shit. Here, I'm out. I wonder, but look, they're doing Ronavirus, pandemic, numerology
match, and it happens to be 22, which happens to be the number 3 out of 5 numbers that are on the podium for Trump. You know, on Trump's podium, he has 88022 to text him at, right? 88022, and this stuff happens to match that. And
we got some Trump conspiracy in here. I hadn't watched it this far. I like after the Lady Gaga thing, I was like, yeah, let's watch this. So I'm probably going to end it here in just a minute, since we've been going about just over an hour and a half now, and yeah, I don't think they have too much more interesting to say. But let's give them a few more minutes to see what they come up with.
And it happens to match his Operation Warp Speed that he put out, right?
Right.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
You did have some interesting things to show us about Osiris, right?
Oh yeah, here we go. Egyptian.
Just clicking through here because this is somehow it's tied to this as well.
Oh,
because of course the cube has to do with, you know, the cube, the 3-dimensional rotating cube, maybe even 5th-dimensional rotating cube on top of Saturn that they like to show us imagery of.
Right, which, you know, the supposed Star of David, which we know is really the Star of Renfam, is a depiction of...
The Star of David is the star of what? Renfam?
Whatever that is. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just take your word for it, Soul 7.
The cube as well.
Right. Yeah, I pulled up some 3D imagery related to, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. We're going to take a closer look at this, which is the sarcophagus of Osiris, which was said to have been coated, not only his sarcophagus, but his body in this goo stuff. Okay. We're going to look at that in 3D, and we're going to look at inside of his...
Which, as far as I recall from reading about this, is the black goo in there was a preserving resin that they coated him in.
His temple, not his temple, but his burial room. We're going to take a look inside of that and add a few other things as well, because all the imagery behind him is not all, but a lot of things that are black. This is supposedly Isis here, and this is Isis, and she's all in black. And then you got him as well in some of these statues and stuff that are in that color. And Osiris was known as the Black One, and somehow it's tied to this. And didn't Dan say Osiris basically is Nimrod?
Right.
What was it?
So they're saying that Osiris is Nimrod from the Bible now. It just goes deeper and deeper off the rails as we get through this.
Said if he was Nimrod.
Here's an image of a sarcophagus or a mummy in the sarcophagus. And as you can see, it's coated in this black stuff and it's hardened around him. So the Egyptian...
It's a resin, right? They used this on like canoes and stuff too, like to seal their canoes back in the day. It's
like pitch.
Pitch, yeah. It's a pitch based resin that they after they'd wrapped the people as mummies in it. I don't remember exactly which dynasty it was active in, but they'd coat them in this resin too, and after. The thousands of years that they were coated in this, some of the chemicals that make up the resin drained out and pool in the bottom of the sarcophagus is like a black liquid. It's like a byproduct of the resin, of the resin sitting for thousands of years. Anyway, and these people are freaking out about it.
We're doing this, obviously having something to do with the afterlife, obviously. And here's a couple more pictures. More of the black goo stuff that's on that they coated on the outside of it. They made all this beautiful design of stuff, right? And then they coated it in black goo and covered it up. Very strange.
Now, Harold mentions in his work that the ancient Babylonians, or, you know, the ones who would sacrifice their children to Moloch, would create those idols of Moloch out of this stone and do the child sacrifice to bring out the demonic in that stone for their own power and use.
And out of this stone, what stone are you referring to,
The
Shannon?
black goo stone, the stone that this stuff was derived from.
She's talking about the stone in Mecca, but I don't think he swallows that.
So a lot of
Seems like
these
it's
idols
pretty
have
hard
been
to keep all this BS straight.
Yeah, because I mean, if is she so like in like her worldview, Mecca is Muslim, which is it's just another branch of Satanism to these people. So yeah, why wouldn't satanic black goo come from the stone of Mecca?
in ancient Egypt, possibly the ones of Osiris, could be made from that stone.
So are we saying that this stuff transforms?
It's a crystalline substance, according to Harold.
Well, we can see that it can get hard.
Right.
And we also know that it could be liquid.
And transparent.
And
how is it black goo if it's transparent? Yeah?
Because the goo.
He goes like predator
magic
mode.
goo.
Bends the light.
Orb sunlight.
If it can be stone-like and also be liquid-like, then maybe it can be a different form as well. Just wondering. This is the shaft, the 3D image of the shaft that was down in the stone where Osiris's room was at. But we're going to take a look because I find this thing quite a bit more interesting. Let me blow it up here. The symbolism that is here is very interesting. Obviously, immediately, I can see similarities in the Ark of the Covenant. Now, obviously, it is not, but I see imagery of birds.
Because it's an ancient stone box, I guess.
I
Is it
think
similarities? So. Yeah. Okay.
Birds or falcons, which are considered to be symbolism for another Egyptian god. What was it called? I know some of you guys are saying the answer.
Osiris had the falcon head, didn't he?
No, I'm pretty sure that was Horus.
Horus, that's what I'm thinking of. Horus had the falcon head. Okay.
Right now. Another Egyptian.
What kind of head did Osiris have?
I think he was just human.
Just a dude. Okay.
I could be misremembering that, but I think he was.
Egyptian god, I'm not really recalling the falcon. I can just Google it and it will give me an answer. Egyptian.
There's Ra. There's one that starts with an H that I can't think of at the moment.
Horus. I think it might be Horus. Let me see.
Horus.
Yeah, Horus.
Oh, they got it. Yeah. But you beat him to it. So.
Yeah.
I'm giving not Tap. I almost called you Dr. Tapioca Weasel. Too many docs in my life. I got the Doc gets the point. Doc Dino 1. Supernatural Show 0.
Yep, my brain worked right at the same time. Okay, let me pull this up here. Well, let's go ahead and look at this first. So we've got.
All right, come on.
Falcon set on. See, there's quite a few other things on here related.
Here we go.
I know. Let's see if I can affect it somewhere here.
I'm gonna blow up the screen here so we can really get a better look.
All right.
Okay.
Come down. As you can see, there's some sands blowing as people come down. We're now going to go down to the second level, which is unavailable to general tourists. This ancient landmark is one of the most impressive sites in all of Egypt, and it's just dripping with mystery. We had the privilege of having a geologist with us on our expedition inside the Osiris shaft, and she was intrigued by an odd black goo that had been found splattered on the ceiling and on the containers that experts call sarcophagi. Although she wasn't sure what it was, she speculated that it could be something naturally occurring in the stone itself, or it could have been something the ancient Egyptian tomb builders intentionally left behind. Now, this is something that has been puzzling researchers for a very long time, but I think I might have found something that could help us figure it out. But first, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you're new here. And be sure to also click the bell icon so you can receive notifications for when I drop new videos like this one. The Osiris shaft.
Just say it.
Step into Wix Studio,
Sorry, guys.
where creative freedom meets absolute efficiency.
All right. You know how that goes on YouTube.
No, he's got to plug it
not an
first.
isolated case when it comes to the black goo. In fact, black goo can be found on numerous ancient Egyptian coffins and mummy cases. For example, black goo has been discovered on the golden mask of Tutankhamun, as well as his innermost gold coffin. Another example would be Jed Khonsu F. Unk. He was born during the reign of Amenhotep III and lived through the reigns of Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and Horemheb. We don't know a lot about Jed Khonsu F. Unk's life, but we do know that he was a high priest in the temple of Amun at Karnak, and his role as opener of the doors of heaven entitled him to open the doors to the shrine in the temple's innermost sanctuary. This was a degree reserved only for the highest initiates. When Jed Khonsu F. Unk transitioned into the afterlife, the process of mummification began. The body was washed, dried, and wrapped in linen strips before being placed inside the coffin. His coffin was then covered in black goo with several liters of warm, viscous substance poured over it and filling all its crevices, coating it completely, as if to hermetically seal it.
And that's the resin, but that's not what's all over this tomb and stuff, but we'll get there in a second.
It was also used to anoint statues of deities in Shopee boxes. Now, all of this evidence points to the fact that there are numerous instances of this black goo being used by the elite in Egyptian burials. The black goo found in ancient Egyptian burials and artifacts was not just restricted to a single site. It has been discovered in many different places throughout Egypt, showing that its use was widely accepted by the elites of the time. So, this mysterious substance is not unique to the Osiris shaft. But what is it? And if we find out what it was made from, can we learn more about why the ancient Egyptians used it? After much research, I was able to uncover a recent study on the black goo that may unlock the secret inside the Osiris shaft at Giza. What is the mysterious black goo of ancient Egypt? What was once a mystery to archaeologists is now revealed. Dr. Kate Fulcher, research assistant in the British Museum's Department of Scientific Research, has solved the centuries-old riddle behind the mysterious black goo found elsewhere in Egypt. Her team of experts analyzed more than 100 samples of the mysterious substance collected from 12 coffins and mummy cases to gain insight into the mystery of the black goo and how the ancient Egyptians made it. The laboratory at the British Museum conducted a chemical analysis to identify the components that were present in the substance. To do this, the scientists took tiny samples and used an invaluable technique called gas chromatography mass spectrometry. Try saying that one 5 times fast. It's enabled the scientists to identify the chemical.
What's that?
You just gave up there.
Mass spectrometry.
Compounds present in the samples and determine their composition. This is achieved by separating a sample into its components, known as chromatographic separation, before measuring the mass of each component. The process involves vaporizing each sample and pushing it through a long tube, which separates the molecules in the sample. The method is based on the principle that the different molecules travel at different speeds through the tube, depending on their size and chemical composition. As the samples move through the tube, it is analyzed by the mass spectrometer and its components are identified. From this, scientists can tell which molecules are present and in what quantities. Dr. Fulcher was able to identify the black ooze composition as a combination of plant oil, animal fat, tree resins, beeswax, and bitumen. The exact ratios of these ingredients vary.
There you go. So that should resolve the thing, right?
Yeah.
But let's hear what.
Solved.
Based on where they were sourced from. It is possible that there were other ingredients in the black goo which can no longer be detected, and this could be due to degradation over time, as well as changes in the composition of the black goo due to the particular environment it was stored. Thanks to Dr. Fulcher's research, we are now able to piece together an even bigger picture of life in ancient Egypt. The discovery of the composition of this black goo provides us with an invaluable insight into the culture of a civilization that has been gone for centuries. But where did the black goo come from? The results of Dr. Fulcher's study reveal that some of the ingredients used to make the black goo only naturally occur outside of Egypt, indicating that they were imported. The 2 tree resins, which were found in the black goo,
which is super cool, right? Archaeology.
Yeah,
they were imported to Egypt.
Help figure out ancient trade routes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
Stachia.
I think this guy that they're watching right now is not a woo channel. I'm just kind of interested in how they're going to respond to him, you know? Because he's like breaking it down, the science of it and the actual archaeology behind it.
Resin and conifer resin. The Stachia resin has been sourced from sites.
Just little gripes with his presentation so far I have aside. It's at least an interesting topic. Like he's making it kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know who this guy is?
I don't. It's this guy, whoever this guy with the sunglasses and Egyptian or Sphinx head or whatever he's got over here in the corner. I'm not 100% sure what channel they're on.
As far away as ancient Greece, while conifer resin is native to Lebanon and other countries in the Mediterranean.
And this message that's up on the screen on their channel is not something that we promote here in the Hive. So that's why there's a strike through, a big red strike through on it.
Region. Archaeologists found pots with resin from these trees in the ancient Egyptian city of Amarna, as well as a shipwreck off the coast of western Turkey. These pots were probably made in modern Israel. The Stachia resin was also used as incense in ancient Egypt and as a golden varnish on painted coffins. Conifer resin is a type of tree resin that may come from pines.
Let's hold on for just 1 second. Let's bring Dan back in so that he doesn't get completely lost since it looks like he made his way back. Plus, I don't want to show the guys' whole video. Y'all got some go over and check more out. And I'm not sure that I would listen to the British people he was talking about and take that as the answers to what this stuff is. Because one, that's a controlled organization.
He doesn't want to listen to the British Museum. They're the enemy.
Yeah,
I almost forgot.
And they're not going to tell you what something really is if it's something they want to occult, you know. Dan, can you hear us, buddy?
Not only that, but they mentioned that there were other things that they couldn't measure or find out what it was due to degradation or blah, blah, blah. But that to me just sounds like
Sounds kind of like there's other things that we can't tell you.
exactly.
That's only how we operate.
All right, I think we're probably gonna wrap it up right about here. So black goo, this was your, as far as I know, your first exposure to black goo? Do you feel contaminated?
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. So, yeah, their younger creationists come in a lot of different flavors, different backgrounds, and making some wild arguments. But this may be the wildest of all, as far as connecting a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't seem related. We had numerology, we had poor pool maintenance, we had Lady Gaga, we had they're just looping everything in together. Egyptian mummies, it's all connected. Everything's connected, and it's all part of a conspiracy, and they're trying to cover it up and keep you from knowing the truth. And these people are the truthers, and they're the ones that say don't. If you look at the comments coming in from their side chat and stuff, the anti-vaxxers, you got definitely some young Earth creationists. There's flat earthers in the side chat as well. It's a whole gamut of folks. If you do decide to show up in the supernatural supernatural show side chat, please try to just be respectful. Everybody's trying to run their channel and do their thing. Obviously, we can't stand for anti-vax stuff and things and transphobia and stuff like that, but we have to pick our battles wisely, and these people have a lot more complicated and potentially dangerous ideas, as opposed to just something that I'm just going to ignore. So that's why I'm engaging here. So I hope you're enjoying this, and I'm going to keep doing Creation Watch and having these fun conversations. Now, Doc thought that they were supposed to be on Bad Science Sunday today, but they aren't.
Yep.
So what do you have going on? That means you're on next weekend then, right?
Yeah, I'm on next week after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got some emails I gotta send, but other than that, I think I'm just gonna have a nice, slow Sunday night.
That sounds lovely. And yeah, I'm gonna watch some Bad Science Sunday here in a little bit when it comes on. But yeah, this has been a fun ride. Hopefully you all enjoy our little venture into the into the weird world of pseudo-archaeology and pseudoscience and pseudo everything, because holy crap, this was a wild one. All right, so with all that said, please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time.